So, before I begin with this review, I just want to congratulate Michael Bay into making his Transformers franchise even worse than they were before. So, good job, man. Good job. Oh, yeah, let's start. Transformers: The Last Night is once again, hopefully for the last time, directed by Michael Bay. Mark Wahlberg returned once again as Cade Yeager, and Josh Duhamel and John Turturro's character returns for their roles once again, Lennox and Agent Simmons. New additions to the cast is Anthony Hopkins, Laura Haddock, Isabella Moner, Santiago Cabrera, to name a few. So as always, let's start off with the plot. Optimus Prime, he has vanished and he is looking for his creators to tell them to leave Earth alone, okay? And during that time, Earth are at war with the Transformers once again. They were in the previous film, so this keeps going on, I guess. So at the beginning of the film, we of course get a flashback, as always, and this time it's to the medieval times, and more specifically to King Arthur and his knights. During this time, the wizard Merlin receives a Cybertronian staff from one of the Transformers knights. It has some immense power, so basically it's just the same as the Allspark Cube and the Matrix of Leadership from the previous movies, except this time it's a staff. Yeah, we can see Kyle Yeager. He is this time some sort of Autobot freedom fighter, and he finds out that he has a much bigger destiny at hand. So the rest of the film is, yeah, basically just stopping the Decepticons, stop the bad guys at all cost. Let's move on to the positive aspects of the movie. There are not a lot of them, but let's get it over with. The last act of the film gives some satisfaction, I would say, and saves the movie a bit from a total meltdown. Some scenes during the last act actually gave me small goosebumps, but it's no excuse to the fact that the rest of the movie is a piece of shit. So another positive aspect is that it's not so much overkill with the product placement in comparison to other films, which is good, I guess. So that's basically it for the positive aspects of the film that I could find. Moving on to the negative ones, this film is the worst in the series. It feels somewhat provoking now, in some sense, like Bay's provoking the fans to make shitty Transformers movies. Age of Extinction was bad, and this one is even worse. This is due to the fact that the plot is laughable, ridiculous. It's even more than the previous installments. The acting from the cast is not good, and sometimes very awkward and cringeworthy. The one character that I could forgive in a sense and tell her that she did a okay job, it was the child actor Isabella Moner. So in comparison that she's a child actor, she does a fairly good job, I guess. But the rest of the film is just a mess. They jump and cut so much in this film, and the characters talk all at the same time in so many scenes, so it's very hard for me as a viewer to know what the F is going on. I actually asked my friend during the screening during the film that if he knew what was going on screen, and he told me that he didn't know, so I wasn't alone in that sense. This movie should and could have been focusing on Optimus Prime, but to learn how his struggle with his creators went and how he's struggling with his feelings and so on. But Optimus Prime is like 10% in this film of the total runtime. I'm not even kidding, it's so stupid. They have Optimus Prime as a main leader and the center of the film, of the franchise in general, and he's like 10% in this film, so it's so ridiculous. So finally, when I think about it or thought about this, it felt that I couldn't expect anything decent anymore from Michael Bay when it comes to his Transformers franchise. Because it feels like he stopped giving a shit after the first installment, actually. So if I would grade this film, finally, it will land at a 4 out of 10, and that is very kind. It's even worse than Age of Extinction. I didn't think it was possible to be any worse, but man, it is. Michael Bay said that this is his last Transformers film, so I sure hope so, because I want to give the Transformers a reboot that it deserves. It's the same for the Resident Evil movies. So I could talk more about these aspects in the film that were so poorly executed, but I'm starting to get a bit pissed off when I think about them. So let's round it up. So that's it, basically. Thank you so much for following my Transformers review series leading up to this film. It's really sad that it had to end with this shitty and messy film, but now we can probably move on to something better in the future. So, yep, thank you so much for listening, and stay awesome in the meantime, guys, and I see you in the next entry. Bye!